Hi friends, welcome to Church Creative Guy. Let's make a Jesus sculpture out of zip ties. For this project, you're going to need zip ties, and lots of them. I bought 4 bags of 800 each. And these. And these. You'll also need something to cut the zip ties, and our old friend Mr. 50-pound test fishing line. You're also going to need a big room. Tie off one anchor line, run it to the ceiling. Then do the same thing on the other side. Then just bust into the zip ties and start tying them together. It's not rocket surgery. With the amount of zip ties I bought, we'll be able to do a figure that's about 3/4 of normal scale. I'm wearing a different shirt than when we started because this is a long project. It took, in fact, several weeks to pull off. And that's okay. That's actually part of the beauty of it. This is where it helps to have lots of people involved, right? So you can make a chain that's super long, and then you can wind it all up and zip tie it together to make these big masses of zip ties that you then use to create kind of the body structure, what we've got going on here. Then you can take kind of the individual zip ties and kind of thread them through like so and shore up places that are sagging or places that are not the shape they should be. Here's an example of what I was talking about. When the group first put this together, they made the legs separate way down here. Well, that gave him much too long of a torso and too short legs, so he kind of looked like an orangutan, and that's not right. So the simple solution is just use one of your cutters and separate the legs so that they're a little bit higher, and that way it has more of a proportional feel to it. We didn't want the head sitting up erect on top of the neck like this. We wanted it to be hanging forward a bit. And it will have the spherical shape, but we also wanted kind of the beard, elongated face. That right there gives it a different character than, this right here. It's just simple things, but it's playing with it until you get it right and then zip tying it in place. So once you've got the main structure done, then you can start adding in the extra bits. I'm adding a crown here I just made a chain out of these color ones and then wrapped it around the head, and then now I'm adding the thorn parts. Super simple, super easy, and it looks fantastic. Remember in John chapter 20 when Thomas says, "Unless I put my hand into his side, I won't believe"? Well, what if you created this for a contemplative atmosphere, maybe prayer stations or a lament service? Maybe you gave people opportunity just in the quietness of their own prayer and timing. You invited them to come and actually put their hand into Jesus. Now, it's a bit of a stretch, I know, and it's just zip ties, and we're not talking about icons here. We're not worshiping the thing. It's not so much an object lesson for a talk as much as it is an object lesson for a worship space that you will have created out of zip ties. Oh my word, check this out. I wasn't planning this at all. I got finished and decided to turn on our LED park cans just to see if I could do some dramatic lighting. Well, as soon as I rolled them on orange, now this thing looks like it's on fire. Next, I tried it with hitting one side with red and one side with blue. If you're going for purple, you got the royalty thing going on. That's a nice juxtaposition with the violence of the cross. Oh my goodness, this is what totally blue looks like. Wow. We used it as a teaching tool for the book of Romans when I was teaching through it. And so obviously we didn't all do it in the first night. By the time we got to Romans 12 about using our bodies and offering our bodies as a living sacrifice, suddenly this thing hanging in space in front of us all, it brought a whole new depth of meaning to that passage. This sculpture was powerful. I love watching our teenagers do it, making the chains and then making the shapes out of the chains and putting them all together. No one really had any kind of general plan other than they knew what the shape was in their head, but it all came together and it was fantastic. And even the bit that I helped out in, it was powerful. When I was doing the crown of thorns just now, I was putting it together and just thinking, he did this for me. The cross was violent and brutal and agonizing physically, and
That's just not the world most of us live in. Our Monday through Sunday is not filled with brutal violence. We have cars and jobs and air conditioning, and we put groceries on the table and take our kids to Little League. And we don't have to deal with people driving nails into other people's hands. Maybe that's exactly the reason why we need a piece of art like this to help our minds wrap around what Jesus did. Just to be able to reach and touch and even see this thing hanging in 3D space. It's pretty incredible. Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope it inspired you to create your own zip tie design. I can't wait to see what you and your team create for your worship space. Give us a like and a share. Subscribe for more. We got more stuff on the way. And as always, pray for creativity and may God get the glory.